What's up, guys? Your boy, 20K13. Gonna talk about 10 times WWE killed a popular star in less than 50 days. And this comes from WhatCulture.com. For years, one of WWE's biggest issues has been with building stars. The control freak insists on having it happen their way, refusing to capitalize on moments when characters become successful organically. Whether they actively sabotage that success. A recent blog post at the K-Style website hit the nail on the head when user No Leaf Clover, presumably not their real name, had enough of WWE habit of wrecking characters that get over on their own. Specifically when it comes to the recent downhill plunge in the creative direction of Lana, the once popular manager of the heel Rusev. Now, while wrestling fans do love a good wrench, there's more to it than that. Many of us have been watching Raw since we were children. We asked to identify with the larger-than-life character on WWE programming to the extent of buying their merchandise and paying to see the outcome of their feud and scrap with one another. If WWE business model is based around engaging the fan base and making us emotionally invested in their product, they shouldn't be surprised if we complain when the product doesn't deliver. We love it when wrestling is great. We want that all the time, and we are tired of it being so awful, especially when it seems obvious how to fix it. This isn't just an issue with Lana. In recent years, this is a problem that affects all manner of characters in WWE. But let's start where we mean to go on. Number 10, Lana. C.J. Perry, the actress who played Lana on WWE programming, previously the Stern wrestling manager, handler to the Bulgarian Brutus heel Rusev, has been so good at playing her role that, as often happens in the interaction between fans and product with the WWE, the crowd reaction to her has changed from the fairly predictable booing and chant of USA, USA to shout of appreciation and cheer. It's clear that the crowd has spontaneously connected with something in Lana's character that was unplanned by the office. It's not just her good look, as Lana's whole persona was that of a buttoned-up, power-dressing dominatrix showing skin wasn't any part of the character. It's also clear that WWE had decided to exploit that organically created connections in ongoing storyline by going with the crowd mood and turning Lana babyface. It's basic pro wrestling booking. However, they appear to have chosen to do so by changing everything about Lana that got her over with the crowd in the first place. When you have a breakout character in a sitcom, you don't respond to the fans' desire to see more of them by changing the character into a different person. Lana, now a delicate flower, abused by Rusev and forced into a role she didn't want, who's been saved by the love of a good man, Dolph Ziggler. Dear Dolph, let her wear her hair down and teaches her about America. It doesn't help that Nick Nemec and C.J. Perry have the chemistry of a couple of damp napkins and that neither one appear keen on the role they've been asked to play. They've been phoning in their work since the breakup storyline began. Sadly, it looks like we'll be seeing a whole lot of more of this god-awful storyline. Not to mention Summer Rae versus Lana, apparently. Although now that Rusev foot appears to be better, actual wrestling might accelerate the feud in play between Ziggler and Rusev. In the meantime, the strong, sexy, and unflappable Lana, the senior partner in her partnership with Rusev. Don't forget, it's now reduced to being the sniffling excuse for a grudge match. She's just another WWE girlfriend. What a terrible waste. Number 9, Rusev. With the kiss of death is given Lana and Ziggler, it'd be lovely if the Rusev-Lana split benefited at least one of the other people too involved in it. Sadly for Miroslav Rusev Banashuk, it looks like that person is going to be Danielle Summerrae Monet. She's in a god-awful role as the home wrecking fourth wheel in the program, the third time she played the same part in 2 years. But she's getting mic time. delivering some genuine good promo, and genuinely making the absolute best of a bad deal. Contrast that with the dilemma that Rusev finds himself in. He in the exact same angle, and like Summer is delivering the best promo performances of his career. He's proven that he doesn't actually need a mouthpiece any longer. The difference is that he's gone from an unstoppable Goliath to John Cena punching bag to a sad ex-boyfriend in what seemed like 3 minutes. It's great that he's throwing his not inconsiderable weight behind this headless turkey of an angle, as WWE put great stock in performers who make the best of their time on camera. But does anyone really take him seriously as a ferocious bulldozer of a fighter anymore? As it stands with the subtlety of his love-lorn promo and the fact that he lost his girlfriend to the show-off, he's in danger of accidentally turning himself babyface out of sheer pity. We hope that the planned Ziggler make a better heel than a babyface, especially with the 80s Kemp Winger look he's rocking at the moment. If WWE are setting the stage for a double turn, fans may just forgive them. If, as it appears, this was their idea of healing Rusev up until his foot had healed, then they lost the plot completely. Number 8. Zack Ryder. Matthew Zack Ryder Cardona story is a sad one, and one everyone reading this is probably far too familiar with. Ryder did what WWE officials keep telling him to do, and he fought for his character through sheer hard work and personality, getting himself over without any help from creators. His thanks was to be completely buried only weeks after the triumph collusion to the self-generated Ryder Revolution. Angle saw him win the U.S. title in December 2011, a title he given meaning to again by virtue of his passionate, single-minded pursuit of it. Ryder's character would never recover. It's been 3.5 years now since Eve, Kane, and John Cena wielded the shovel on the Office's behalf, destroying every aspect of his on-screen persona by having him lose the title and play the hapless fall guy in Cena's feud with Kane while simultaneously playing witless pasty to the conniving Eve, all in the space of the same few weeks on television. By all accounts, his merchandise had been moving incredibly well up until that point. In July 2015, Ryder has one item on sale on WWE.com, and the basic design of the shirt hasn't changed in 4 years. Incredibly, Cardona is still with the company despite barely wrestling, hardly ever being on television, and losing when he does. Can anyone remember the last time he was in a genuine angle, a proper storyline? Ryder's supposed to be a pro wrestling nerd, a passionate love of the business, his prime motivator. As time goes on, it's become clear that he's a mark for WWE, not for wrestling. We can't think of any other reason why he put up with everything, or why he didn't ask for his release years ago. Number 7. Emma. Incredibly talented in the ring, Tenelle Emma Dashwood was at one point one of the faces of the NXT Women's Division. She was having some of the best matches on the card, often with Saraya Paige Beavis, and should have been going somewhere. Had she stayed in NXT a little longer, she might now be riding the wave of publicity and popularity that made Bayley, Charlotte, Sasha Banks, and Becky Lynch proper names in the business. Instead, Emma debuted on the main roster in a comedy segment with Santino, which led into an on-screen role as his girlfriend. Kiss of death. Good God, yes. Part of the problem is that her supposedly bad dancing was over in NXT because it worked within the context of the character and the smaller audience familiarly with that character history. Transporting her to the main roster with the same dance in front of people who had no idea who she was just made her seem goofy, which made her comedy valet material, not a wrestler. Emma went from tearing the house down at NXT and completely validating their tagline submission specialist to being a plot point getting in the way of Santino Marella winning matches a wacky jobber who thought his own hand wearing a stock was a real snake. It wasn't even one thing following another. Wrestler Emma was feuding brilliantly with Paige over the NXT Women's title and having a title shot on their equivalent of a pay-per-view at the same time as Valet Emma was having a 40-year-old man with a bad Italian accent chase her around the ring on Raw and tweet about her gratuitous little body. When Emma returned to NXT in January 2015, her new character was of a depressed, delusional failure whose dreams had been shattered and who doesn't believe in love or hope or goodness anymore. That's seriously on the nose, and Zack Ryder should sue for gimmick infringement. Number 6. Roman Reigns. Unusually on this list, Lily Jo Inoue isn't the victim of WWE infamous schizophrenic attitude to the push, or a talented star held down by the McMahon. No, it's actually Vince McMahon's serious interest in the powerhouse of the massively successful stable, the Shield, that caused all the problems for poor old Roman Reigns. Paired with Kobe, Seth Rollins, Lopez, and John Dean Ambrose, good on their promotion to the main roster from developmental. Reigns would initially find himself the weak link in the team. He couldn't work like Rollins or talk like Ambrose. Hey, let's face it, he couldn't work like Ambrose or talk like Rollins either. But with the mercenary heel stable heavy booking protection and their main event spot meaning that they got to work with the biggest and best in the company, Arnoldi found himself improving at a rate of knots. With his look and size, it was assumed that Arnoldi would be the breakout character in the Shield when they finally split. WWE surprised everyone when they had Rollins betray his erstwhile competitor to join heel bosses, The Authority. But Reigns was still marked for great things, and the star aligned for him to win the 2015 Royal Rumble and face Brock Lesnar for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship at this year's WrestleMania. With terrible scripted promos, rumored to having been penned specifically for him by Vince McMahon himself, and a ring style with glaring weaknesses, fans reacted badly to his main event push. Everyone knows what happened at WrestleMania. With Reigns booked to win the top title, the decision was made to hand the title over to Seth Rollins right at the last minute, reportedly infuriating a Nordic family. Since then, Reigns has coasted along feuding with a sluggish, unmotivated Big Show and an increasingly irrelevant Bray Wyatt. If WWE wants to make him into the next big thing again, they'll need to spend some considerable time rebuilding his character from the ground up. Number 5. The Ascension. We're out on the main roster as lame Legion of Doom rip-off and having that fact telegraphed by the announce team, who were instructed to bury them. No, Eric Victor Thompson and Ryan Connor Permuta having had the best introduction of all time. In NXT, the Bruiser was the tag team champion for 1 day short of a year, quashing jobbing local talent in short matches for a month. Dominant in attempt, their protective booking was probably a good idea. The pair not exactly setting the world on fire with their wrestling, but plenty of brawling tag teams have overcome technical limitations to excel on the big stage. Why was the Ascension any different? WWE Tag Team Division is essentially an afterthought on their programming, there to take up space and team with popular single stars to provide dark main events for house shows, without the creative support they were used to in NXT, and without the talent or the personal charisma to elevate themselves with the crowd. The Ascension have fizzled away to nothing, a far cry from the 354 days of terror they inflicted upon the tag team division in NXT. There a rumor that Victor and Connor may still join a rejuvenated Wyatt family in 2015, a move that might save the beleaguered team from release. However, should that occur, there is a distant likelihood that they'll be overshadowed by the larger, more talented and charismatic Eric Rowan and Luke Harper, so perhaps that won't help them out after all. Number 4. Dean Ambrose. Out of all three members of the Shield, it was Dean Ambrose that was being feted as a megastar in the making when all three were still in the FCW NXT developmental system. CM Punk raved about him, as did Mick Foley. At one point, Ambrose had set up a nasty feud between himself and Foley that made the paper for a short time. Nothing ever came of it, and then Reigns and Rollins were caught up to form a paramilitary heel stable, and the rest is history. Or would it be? If the Shield's subsequent split hadn't left him completely out to dry, while Rollins was earmarked to be one of the central figures on Monday Night Raw, and Reigns was carefully yet incompletely groomed for the main event, Ambrose was lucky to have anything at all, because he's a lunatic friend, a wild and crazy guy. The power that be appeared to have decided some time ago that winning and losing matches isn't Ambrose's prime motivation force. Rather it's the angle, the grudge match, or simply the fun of fighting people that drive him. That's all well and good, but this is a wrestling promotion, or rather a TV show about a wrestling promotion, and it makes no sense for Ambrose to be with the WWE if he doesn't care about winning every once in a while. Ambrose is completely over with the WWE fanbase, and they'll forgive the character an awful lot of nonsense for the few occasions when John Good, basically psychotic motor mouth, is absolute gold on television. But hot dog cart, exploding TV monitor, ghost hologram, he's supposed to be Brian Pillman, wild and crazy, not Steve Martin, wild and crazy. Ambrose has lost nearly every major match and feud he's been involved in since the Shield breakup. If his character is to be salvaged and transformed into a genuine main event level star, they need to understand that the man is unpredictable and prone to mayhem, not a cartoon character. The promo he cut after the Money in the Bank pay-per-view this year is absolutely a step in the right direction. Dean Ambrose can still be salvaged before he becomes a running joke among wrestling fans. The WWE owns Jonathan Good that much. Number 3. Bad News Barrick. Poor Stuart Wade Barrett Bennett is a cautionary tale and precisely what we just been darkly predicting for Dean Ambrose. He's a great wrestler with a remarkable nook, a man who can talk like few others on the mic, and who got tired and intensely to burn. Why is he the object of so much heritage among professional wrestling fans worldwide? He is a large, menacing individual with a brawler gimmick, a man they set up as a former bare-knuckle boxing champion, a heel who brutally bashes people with a vicious elbow to win while have WWE set him up to be the biggest loser in the company. When he was the Intercontinental Champion, Barrett was renowned for losing non-title matches on television, but the IC belt is widely considered to be a complete joke these days, with the running gag being that it's cursed and that everyone who wins it is doomed to lose on Raw until they pass on the title to someone else. Like the videotape in the ring, only really irritating. Now Barrett this year King of the Ring winner, and much like other previous winners have started walking around with a robe and a crown, calling himself King Barrett. It's a classic, obvious, arrogant heel gimmick, beloved among wrestling fans despite the old-fashioned nature of the angle. So why does it seem so pathetic on Wade Barrett? Maybe because it seems like someone taking the Mickey out of him, having the man who jobs to everyone rocking the up himself King of the Ring gimmick. The ridiculous thing is that after all this time, Barrett had finally gotten over. The bad news gimmick had caught fire. He was clearly having the time of his life with it. It could have worked with him as a babyface, a heel, or a tweener, but the office nicked the gimmick when they realized it had caught on. You can still buy the t-shirt, but he's not allowed to work under the gimmick. that finally got him somewhere with the crowd because people were starting to cheer for him? Well, if that's the case, then turn it up to 11. Turn him babyface and make some money. Maybe he could win a few matches occasionally. Just a thought. Number 2, Bray Wyatt. Wickham Rotunga's success with the Bray Wyatt gimmick was down to almost finical commitment to the role and sheer charisma on the stick, not to mention the presence of two hulking backwood psychopaths on his side. So naturally, the office recognized that the character was doing well and chose to split the stable and have Harper and Rowan wrestle separately and Wyatt work alone. What bloody cult leader doesn't have a cult to command? Wyatt been floundering ever since the family was disbanded. Before then, if you count the terrible dreck of the feud with John Cena, whereby Wyatt won one match via spooky possessed choir boy, he ended up in nothing feud with Chris Jericho, Dean Ambrose, and The Undertaker, and the lack of creative direction for him shows in his once unmissable, now meandering and worthless promo. Bray Wyatt a narrative machine. If there's no story to his angle, then he's just a deluded hillbilly crackling to himself in the dark and losing more often than not. Without storyline, Wyatt doesn't get over, and neither does anyone facing him. Wyatt's still fixable. His current feud with Roman Reigns seems to have more focus than his angle with Jericho and Ambrose, and Wyatt's motivations are a lot clearer. But a mad creation like Bray Wyatt, a supernatural, possibly possessed demon who wrestles like a maniac and command brainwashed monsters, needs a stable, and he needs the complete support of the office. Sister Abigail needs protection at a finish. Wyatt needs to be seen as a convincing threat to anyone he faces. He actually came out on top against Jericho and Ambrose, but you never know it from having watched the story play out. Number 1, Cesaro. If Bad News Barrett and Bray Wyatt have had their legs cut out from under them, then Cesaro has had a grenade thrown at his feet. The massive amount of goodwill that the WWE crowd had for the Swiss Superman can't be overstated. This is a man who may be the best wrestler on the roster, possessed of astonishing, almost supernatural reserve of strength, one of the few people in WWE who fans might buy standing toe to toe with Brock Lesnar, even after all this time of being casually dumped on by the office. But WWE would rather completely waste his talent in mid-card tag team hell or by driving to the stars. When the giant swing got over, WWE stopped him using it. When his music became dynamic and exciting, WWE turned it into a comedy tune, removing the massive airway siren and replacing them with wobbling ambulance sirens. That's like taking out Stone Cold breaking glass and replacing it with ripping paper. Vince McMahon may believe that Cesaro doesn't have it, the potential to become a massive main event player, but he's pretty much completely alone there. If you're not Piper or Punk, might still come with time and practice. Stephanie McMahon couldn't talk when she first started, and now look at her. You can't stop her. She's a heat-seeking missile of a character. If Cesaro is over as a babyface juggernaut, and he clearly was and could be again, then turn him babyface, have him perform the near miraculous feat he's capable of in the ring, give him the ball and tell him to run with it. Like we said earlier, make some money. Well, that's it, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. See you guys on the next one. Peace.